Our next question is if all the school districts try to improve. So we're trying to see, did they improve their scores from 2011 going into 2012? And we're not going to differentiate between the two districts. We're just going to say this group of schools, did they do better in 2012 than they did in 2011? So because now we do have the same sample twice, right? We have the same schools in 2011 and then again the same schools in 2012. We have for each school we have two scores, right? Here. We're gonna use a different test. So we're gonna use a test to test dependent samples. Again, we're going to analyze, compare means. We choose the paired samples test or dependent samples test. We choose that, and immediately see it looks a little bit different. We first pick the first variable, AP exam 2011, click it over, and you see it filled it in. And then we're going to choose the second AP exam variable 2012 and click it over here. If we would want to test more variables, we could do that and add as many pairs that we would like. Right now we just test these two and we hit OK. Here we see the pair 1. Pair 1 is AP exam 2011 and AP exam 2012. We see now the sample size is 14. 5 schools from school district 1 and 9 schools from school district 2. The mean is 2.33 for 2011 and 2.35 for 2012. So a very small difference. Then we get the estimate of how similar are these two samples. This is the correlation between 2011 and 2012, and we see this correlation is very high, right? Correlations can be between 0 and 1 or minus 1 and 0, but basically you can go higher than 1 or minus 1. So 0.97 basically says those schools are very similar over time. If we go down here to the paired samples t-test, we see the difference between the schools first, right? That would just be 2.33 minus 2.35. So we get a negative difference. And don't be too focused on the sign. If it's a minus or plus, it doesn't really matter. We're just interested in the difference. Then to interpret it, yes, we want to see did it go down or up, but right here for the test it doesn't really matter. So we see then over here the t-test, how significant is the difference. We can see it's pretty small, and indeed the t-value is 0.5 with the degrees of freedom of 13, right? Because we only have one group, we only do 14 minus 1 to get these 13, and in the t-distribution an t-value with 0.5 with the degrees of freedom of 13 has about a 60% probability of the null being true when we reject it. So we're not gonna reject the null, right? There's no significant difference.